Greetings and welcome back to episode 15 of Forever Stranded. When we left off last episode, we were, amongst other things, waiting for the blast furnace to produce enough steel to make an auto heavy Steve. Well, that has happened and we now have the steel required. So, we can come here, take a look at the autosieve. And it requires glass panes, which I also took the time to cook the glass up for. And it requires the sieve out of back here. So we'll just pick this up. And we can now have ourselves an autosieve. Yay! I'll just grab some of this and bring it down here to the power. Oh, also, between episodes, I did a little bit of experimentation and found that the graphic I was using for how to set this up was incorrect. I actually shifted these water blocks back one more. I used to have them directly over the center. Now they're one back from it. And I'm producing, I think, 75 RF a tick. Or at least receiving that at the capacitor bank. So it's possible that, as I said, I believe that there's a slight loss in this system. So it's possible that it is producing the max amount right now. So we can put down the heavy sieve, fills that up. This will consume 120 FE a tick. 1 FE being the same as 1 IF, which is the same as 1 RF. So many systems, all meaning the same thing. We need to put the mesh in, and we can put the compressed dust in, and it'll get working. Now, one of the neat parts about the heavy sieve is, if you notice, we've got Eskerdock in there. You can see who he is by the Wayla tooltip. And that'll actually change each time you break and replace it. So if I wanted to, I could find someone specific. But anyways, you got a little guy in there. You know what little guys like? Little guys like food. So we can... Oh, let's see. Let's just give him a piece of toast. Bounce, bounce. Now, you see how quickly he's working now. Plodding along. Consuming 120. We feed him. He's suddenly going a lot faster. And possibly still consuming the same amount of power. Now, the speed at which he works is based off the hunger value of the food you give him. And the duration it lasts is based off the saturation. So, the better the food, the faster he works. And that's a fair amount that he's gotten already. Once this last slot fills up, he will stop working because he doesn't want to waste anything. So, if there's a... It'll get to the end and refuse to place anything. It'll refuse to start anything new. So we should figure out some way to pipe everything out of there. Now, most of that stuff... Oops. Oh, between episodes, I did place the punchy sticks out there, which is why I suddenly took damage when I stood there. So... There are a couple ways of auto-compressing stuff. There are a number of crafters, which could work, but for those you'd have to insert all of the crafting recipes individually. There is the auto-compressor from X-Compressum, which requires 13 iron, and requires you to pipe stuff in and out. Alternatively, there is Not sure what it's called, actually, but there's something that will do it automatically. It might be a compactor. Compacting drawer, compactor, no it's not. Anyways, the item I'm thinking of can sit directly between two inventories. It'll pull out of one, place in the other, but I believe it's a bit more expensive. Hold on a moment while I look up what it is. Well, I've been unable to figure out what the other type of compressor I was thinking of was. So, for the moment, especially since we're sifting dust, I've just got it set up as a transfer node into a large chest, and I'll have to manually compress these before smelting. One thing I forgot last episode that I had done in the missing footage was to make a terrain lighter. This just takes a redstone signal, fuel, and a whole bunch of torches, and then places them in a 5-block grid out to, I think, like 15 torches by 15 torches across. So that's what 120 now 65 by 65 block area. That's how I got torches down here, and then broke half of them, so they're now in a 10 by 10 X pattern. And up here, and then also all these torches out here. This actually took putting it in that corner and that corner to get all of these, but it means that the mobs won't spawn quite as close to my base anymore. I'm just going to pick up some of these while I'm out here. Ooh, that's done. So I've got some sifting starting to go, and I think I had something planned. Now, what was it? Okay, I think it's time to start looking towards getting ender pearls. Endermen are difficult to kill, even with the ender, because they do a lot of damage. But even more so, they just spawn so incredibly rarely on the surface. Thankfully, there is the spooky doll, which when placed in a barrel of witch water will spawn an enderman. Now, this takes a porcelain doll, which we know takes clay and ash and such, but that's fairly easy. But what we don't have right now are ink sacs or black dye from Black Lotus. Black Lotus could be gotten by just bone mealing grass and harvest and hoping one spawns, but I think I'm going to go for an ink sacs from squids. Now, the easiest way to do this is probably just a somewhat manual farm, in that I can just put some, delineate an area that I want them to spawn in, put water up against the ceiling, and they'll, if the area is big enough, they'll just spawn slowly. And then I have to just manually collect the ink. So, in order to contain them, I'm going to do something a little bit tricky and make a wall-less tank. Let's see. I am looking for the chisel from Chisel and Bits, which I thought I had put in here. Yes, there it is. I'm just going to take back one of these cubes and get, well, I need to put some of this stuff away, because I don't need all this stuff on me, and I do need the inventory space. We'll just throw a whole bunch of stuff in there for now. Come out, grab the rest of these little bits. And I think a 3x3 area should be enough. That's 1, 2, 3. Then if I just put one bit in each of these blocks along the ground, see, there's the corner. Just one bit is enough to prevent the water from getting out. So, here, there, and there. Now, I can just put the water on the ceiling. You see, it prevents it from getting out. Depending on where I put the blocks on the ceiling, because it automatically goes into the next spots, it might help to have the bits on the ceiling as well. Let me just trace it up. It goes there, goes there, that's about there, about there. I'm not being quite as precise up on the ceiling. Now, those are a lot easier to do because there's less of a pattern. Okay, that should hopefully be enough. Then we can... Yeah, definitely wasn't quite as careful. Place this one right there. And if we do this right, we can just move that there, and eventually squids will start spawning in there. It takes 4 squid per spooky doll. So rather than tote these around, we'll just set it back to half-size cube, put it right there, and that's all the bits we used. About a 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 if I counting correctly. And we can go put this back inside. So now we have a very unautomated squid farm. And I won't even have to kill the squid. They'll just fall out the sides here and leave the ink on the floor, which just means I'll have to come by and pick it up every once in a while, at least until I get some form of vacuum hopper. So, with that, we now need to figure out how to get this guy to work a little bit faster. As you can see, he works pretty slowly on his own. And the toast was nice, but not particularly good. So we could just pull out the Cooking for Blockheads manual, which is actually right here. Take a look at all the food I've got and see what I can make. However, I think I'm going to look at the rest of the Cooking for Blockheads mod and see what that gets us. Cooking for Blockheads includes several different blocks, which form a multi-block kitchen. The basis of it is the kitchen counter, which acts as a crafting area for your, the cooking table acts as a crafting area for your recipes. It can access any tools or food items in your inventory or in the connected multi-block. The oven takes care of smelting things for the multi-block. Therefore, you could tell it to create a cooked chicken and it will smelt it. The fridge is ingredient storage. The sink provides water for the recipes. However, in the config files for Forever Stranded, it's set to require that you pipe the water in. So it's not an infinite water source, unfortunately. Tool rack can hold some of your cooking tools, which include things like your pot, mortar and pestle, mixing bowl, etc. However, specific 4 of these, which I believe are the bakeware, the pot, perhaps the mixing bowl, and something else, can actually stay on your stove, or oven rather. The toaster turns bread into toast. Just what it says on the tin. Spice rack stores things. Kitchen counter also stores stuff. I'm not sure if these have other abilities as well. So let's get started crafting some of these. Most of them are very easy to make, though this one apparently takes black hardened clay, which means we're gonna need an ink sac first. Nope, no squid so far. Okay, so let's take a look at the oven. Black stained glass. Okay, we'll need more ink. An iron door and an oak chest, which makes a fridge. That I think we can manage. The iron door takes 6 iron ingots for 3 doors. Alternatively, where'd it go? Did it fall into the basement? Or did it just disappear? That would be most unfortunate. Oh well. Guess we're making those doors after all. Then we'll just put it back. I don't know what happened to it. But we have the chests in... not in there. They're in here now, aren't they? Yes. Or I had a bunch in my inventory still. And we have a fridge. Let's have a kitchen be in here somewhere. But where becomes the question. If we clear out these pipes, and stick them somewhere. That should work. Let's put the kitchen here. So, have the fridge be under the window. It holds a normal chest's worth of stuff. So, we might build a second fridge. Let's see. Sink we don't really need. Kitchen counter also requires black stained clay. Spice rack is very easy to make, but we don't really have much in the way of spices. Cow in a jar is an interesting way of producing milk. You put a jar down, put a cow on top of it, then you drop an anvil on top. And you get a cow in a jar, which just slowly produces milk, and if placed in the kitchen, would become available for it. Therefore, it seems like in order to progress in this, we're actually going to need to wait for a squid to spawn. I'm just coming to stand over here in case that helps it spawn more quickly. Just gonna be here for a moment, though. In that case, we might as well give up on the kitchen for the moment and see how this guy's doing. Looks like he's finished. And we got half a stack of iron, have enough ore for half a stack of iron, and some other decent things, but nothing spectacular. Oh, 50 redstone. We have been needing more of that. So that will be useful. So I guess I might as well come in here, put some stuff away. That's all stuff that can go in here. Let's put tools in here. Then we can just grab a couple of each thing and see what we can make with them. It'd be nice to have an easier way of doing this, say, with the kitchen, but this will do for now. Okay. Let's see what we can make. We can make bacon and eggs. That would work pretty well for the guy downstairs. Cooked pork chops are actually pretty good by themselves. Fruit salad, not much speed, but would last a long time. So it looks like our best bet is the bacon and eggs. And might as well make one for myself as well while I'm at it. So this requires just a raw pork chop, an egg, and a skillet. Wow. For the requirements, that is, or for the results, that is really easy to make. Just need a skillet. Do I have a skillet made? Apparently I do not. Skillet is just 2 iron, copper, or steel, and a stick. We're going to go ahead and use copper because we've got a lot of that and have less use for copper than we do iron. And now we can just make some bacon and eggs. I'm now wondering if I shouldn't have killed off all my pigs. But I've got some bacon as it stands right now, or some pork chops, and I can always get some from the ground trap. Might help to also give him something to sift. And look at him go. There is no way a transfer node can keep up with that even remotely. But that's fine. For now, at least, it's fine. Flax seeds can go in there. Powdered uranium. And because of the saturation on the bacon and eggs, this will probably last the most of the stack, if not the whole stack. Therefore, what other things have we been working on that we've been waiting on stuff for? This blast furnace has made us a whole bunch of steel. Now let's look at quests. This one we could actually probably do right now. But let's look at the stews. Stews are something we can do at this point, I think. Rabbit stew, meaty stew, seed soup, hearty stew, and mushroom stew. Well, I know for the rabbit stew we will require raw rabbit, or a cooked rabbit, which I do not believe we have at the moment. No. Well, You can get them using the ground traps with a fruit bait. So, let's go ahead and make a number of those. Let's go for 8. Grab a few more. Wow, that worked out perfectly. That'll make 32 baits, or 8 per trap. Come on, silly mouse. Also, the chickens are doing fine in there. We've got 30 eggs and 8 feathers. I thought these only required 5, but I wonder why this one hasn't used up its bait. It might need that last dirt in there. So we'll have to go get the dirt in a moment. In the meantime, we'll give these a few more. 11 and 10. Good enough. And then we'll empty them out while we're at it. So, for the moment, it looks like most of the stuff I can do requires waiting on the ink. So, we'll come back in a little bit once squids have started to spawn and die. And we're back. Unfortunately, the squid were refusing to spawn over in that corner. Don't quite understand why, because my understanding of the mechanics is that they'll spawn in these lower levels, but they will spawn for some reason over here. I don't completely understand it, but as you can see, I started getting some ink sacs and raw calamari. Well, the calamari only drop when you kill them manually. So at this point, we have the dyes we need to make the black glass and black hardened clay for the cooking for Blockheads quests. We've got clay right here. We can cook it up quickly. I do have to do all 8, even though I only need 4 of them, because that's how the dye recipe works. So, there's our hardened clay. We need 8 glass, because again, have to have all 8. Actually, I wonder, I might not need to do that one. Let's see, it was the oven that required it. This requires, it is, I'm looking at the various ore dictionary names, but it doesn't say that it will accept anything other than the glass black. Before I actually craft it, however, I think I'm going to try making the oven with the black glass that I picked up in the city, if I can find where I put it. Because I remember picking up a number of them when I was there getting the Tinker's Construct stuff. But perhaps I threw it out sometime in the meantime. Okay, I guess we're going for this anyways. So, back to the cooking for Blockhead stuff. We need the cooking table, which requires cooking for Blockheads 2. So that's 2 crafting tables, 2 emeralds, or diamonds, and our cooking for Blockheads 1. Oh, this must have run out of fuel. Yep. So, grab a couple wood. Make the crafting tables I need. Yeah, that's running again now. And we can make ourselves cooking for blockheads too. We need more wood. Of course we need more wood. Because I can't be smart enough to get the right amount the first time. There we go. At some point I'll be able to get into that to put the apples back. Or we can just throw the apples in here. Or eat one of them. Okay. So. Now, the cooking table is done. The oven. We need 5 iron and a furnace. Well, none of that's too difficult. Grab an extra cobble, just because. And we have our oven. We already have a fridge. I'm gonna pass on the sink for now. But I would like the tool. Iron nuggets. I might pass on that as well, if I can find another way to store the last couple tools. Let's see. Cooking table. Oven. Since this is a multi-block structure, I was hoping that they would actually connect a bit better. But, nah. We have 9 blocks for smelting stuff. Slot for fuel. I'm guessing that these 6 might be output slots. I'm not entirely sure. That's a weird graphical glitch. But these 4 should be the things that will go on the stove. The skillet, pot, bakeware, and I'm not sure what that one is. I might not have even crafted it yet. But the mixing bowl does not. Cutting board is another tool for it. Let's see. I don't see... Oh. Mortar and pestle. Fairly certain that that's not the one that goes on the stove. Or the oven either. Let's see. Let's find what all the tools are. If we can find them in this mess. Lots and lots of food. Here we are. Oh, the saucepan. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a saucepan yet. That's just a copper and a stick. So we can craft that easily enough. Just to make sure we've got all the tools. As you can see, they actually appear on the oven. At an interesting angle. That only seems to work if you stand right in front of it. But we can now take a look at this and find that the only thing we can cook right now is cooked calamari. Because I have 1 calamari in there and nothing else. So, let's just pull a whole bunch of food. Okay. The tools apparently can go into the fridge and the like. Which means that, I don't really have to make the tool rod, or the tool racks. I can make a whole bunch of other stuff now. And the purpose behind this was for food for the little guy in a box downstairs. Or at least one of the purposes. So, for that we want good food in both food quality and, saturation. None of what we've got in there so far is particularly good. Because we don't have the meats. And I think yes, I am definitely going to need to make either another fridge or let's try a kitchen cabinet this time. That, as I recall, was just a chest and a hardened clay. Put that there. Throw it full of other more different foods. And finish it off with some eggs. Ah. I apparently had this stuff on me to be able to make another cow, and I shall have to do that. So now we have a whole bunch more food options, but choosing exactly what to make will have to wait for the next episode, because we are past the wrapping up point. So this episode we managed to make yourselves a little kitchen. We've got power running over there. I think that was this episode. It might have been the previous one. But that should do it for today. So until next time, enjoy.